All right, so let's do the work. Last night you were arrested and son was arrested, and I'm assuming this is based on physical activity or maybe a
Correct.
fight. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what you were fighting about?
It was so the fight initially started about money, but it was just a whole myriad of things.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the initial argument at that point was in reference to money, but it is just a whole bunch of different things.
Okay. To you, what was the main thing?
Um, the main thing, I don't know if I want to say the money issue because that was a part of it, but it was just like the situation that happened last week. They did the same situation this week, and it was nothing. It's just like that was more the main thing than the money, but the money is an issue.
So, what was the main thing?
The main thing was last week, I was going through something, but I stopped and saw my girlfriend along the way home. And, it was a big argument because I stopped to see my girlfriend on the way home for 30 minutes. But last night I was waiting, for him to get home. And then I'm talking about my husband, him to get home to help me with something I've been asking for him to help me with, for a minute now. And he did the same thing, stopped by his friend's house, and it was nothing. So, I just did what I needed to do, but the we still had issues with the money, but that was the main thing. So it turned
Money.
into a domestic.
Okay. Um, did you come out of character and get physical first?
I did.
Okay.
I
Do you know why you came physical?
because he came in my face and he invaded my space. And at that moment of invading my space and, yelling and screaming and cursing at me, I lost it.
Not sure. Not sure. We talked a little bit about money before.
Right.
Money is a really good energy to discuss. Um, how did you feel when he was in your face? Like, how did you feel? I know what he was saying, but how did you feel?
Um, I just felt, betrayed. Like, almost like, how dare you talk to me this way, like after all that I do. Like, so it was more so of a betrayal feeling. Like,
I sure. I sure. I sure. Have you had this conversation with your husband before in regards to money and contribution and how you contribute or how it's worked out?
we did. We just had a conversation the day before that, and I think that's why I was so angry, because we had a conversation before that. And normally I don't say stuff, but I actually broke down and actually told him how I feel, and he pretended as if he was, and I say pretended because he was trying to console me and act like he was being supportive. But I felt like if you were doing that in this moment, the things that you were saying, you wouldn't be saying if you were truly, honestly trying to console me and be supportive of the situation when I explain why I may act like the way that I act, or, what is really going on with me. So I think that was part of the betrayal. Like, I broke down and I actually expressed to you my feelings. And I feel like instead of you using that and, helping me to get better, you using that to try to tear me down.
I sure.
What I expressed.
I sure. How was it used to tear you down? What was
So
something?
just by the things that he was saying, um, and we kind of talked about it before, where he tries to make like as if he's the victim, and I'm doing things, and you know just talking to me like it's my fault why things ain't going right, or just things like that.
Asha. So you felt betrayed and blamed.
Correct.
Asha. Asha. What do you want the outcome to be?
I just want, like I said before, I just want it to be just completely like separated. Like, again, like I said, he filed these charges against me, and he filed them against my son, because before I can get home, they had a physical altercation. But he hit my son, and he called the cops on him. So I just feel like, he's playing a game right now, and then, trying to act like he's the victim, but yet he's stirring the stuff up and trying to get it to go in the direction that he wants it, because he can't have his way with me. And I really, truly feel that that's what it is.
Okay.
And I just want to be done with the whole situation. And I want to be done with the situation where I'm not feeling like retaliating and doing things out of my character to get back at him. I just want the Most High and the universe to deal with him in that way. Whatever comes to him, comes to him. I don't want to be the one that's sending out that energy. I want to just worry about me and what I have to do, and not be involved in whatever energy that's going on over there.
Sure. And what do you want the end result to be? What do you want to work towards? What do you want the end result to be?
So, I'm like I said, worried about now these charges, not to mention, this house and my business. So in the end, I just want to be okay with me and my kids and not deal with him anymore. Like, I don't want to deal with him anymore. But at the end, I want my living situation, my business, and my kids, for us all to be okay. And this court situation to be dismissed, disappeared, or whatever. That is, what I want right now.
Okay. So where you are right now, or where you actually physically live, do you want to live where you are right now, or do you want to move? You and your son move to a different place, or do you want to stay in the place you're in?
Well, it's not just me and my son, it's me and my 3 children.
Okay.
So I really don't want to uproot them. Like, I don't mind to have to move, but it would be an uncomfortable situation for them to have to move after we've just moved here. So I would prefer to stay here. I don't know how possible that is, being since, like, it'll be just me with no income at this point, but I would prefer to stay here.
Okay. So your goal is to stay where you are, to be separate from this situation with your husband, or for him to move, and for you and the kids to stay there.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about getting to that space where you're going to stay there. What is the obstacle besides work? What is the obstacle that can get in the way of you staying there?
Besides the money situation of paying the rent.
Yes.
Him, like, I feel like, right now he took some things and he left, and he was apologetic to my father because I haven't spoken to him and I don't want to speak to him. He hasn't tried to contact me, but I think somewhere in his mind he thinks that after all this blows over, it could be back to the way it was. And I just say that because when the public defender called him today in reference to see if he would be willing to remove himself from the house so that I can come back because I'm not supposed to be around him, he seemed to be shocked the fact that I can't be around him and we can't live together. And his response to that was, "For real, we can't live together? Well, how long does that have to be?" And when I came in here, I noticed that he only took maybe a couple of days worth of clothes. Like, he didn't take much. He took a couple of days worth of clothes. So
the place where you are now, you said is your father there?
No, he's not here. But when all of this happened, I called him over, so
Okay.
he knows the situation, and he's kind of been,
Okay.
the one that's been in the middle where he's calling him and talking to him
Okay.
because
The house that you are in now, is this house in both you guys' name, just your name,
they're both of our.
both of your name? It's just a
Mhm.
purchase situation or a rental
No,
situation?
it's a rental.
A
It's a
rental
rental.
situation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in your space, besides the income and working, what would get in the way of you staying there?
Him,
Him.
meaning that if he decides that he wants to come back, or if he
Okay.
decides changed his mind after he's talked to whomever,
Okay.
after time has passed,
Okay.
it would be him.
Okay. All right. So the two obstacles are him and the finances.
Correct.
Okay. All right. How can well before we do this, before we get into the tangible part, let me ask you a couple questions about how you emotionally feel. What do you want emotionally from this space?
Um, I just want really just to start the healing process and with the separation, because I know with that it's a process, and right now, and I won't say I'm angry as I was, because initially I was angry,
Hmm.
but I think I'm coming to a space where I'm not angry, and I know that the separation has to occur. So I'm trying to accept it. But through accepting it, I know that, of course, there's going to be feelings and emotions and ties. And I just want to get to the space where I can get past that and not, feel like, oh, I feel sorry, or, I miss this person, whatever. I just want to get past that so that I can focus on me. And I think, honestly, I think the situation happened was not a bad thing. I think it was a way for separation. And because the way that I feel now, I don't feel sorry for him because of the
Sure.
things. Like it's almost like, I've always saw who he was, but this is kind of like put the icing on the cake where, normally he could say I'm sorry and express, and I'll be like, okay, but I don't even want to hear the sorry, even though he's apologized to my father and basically wanted to let my father know that he's sorry. I don't want to hear it. Like, once it came to getting me arrested and then putting his hands on my son, like, it's nothing else I want to hear anymore. But I
Sure.
just want to get to the space where, you know, I'm not
Okay.
affected.
Okay. So from the emotional space, you want to be able to walk away from this situation and not what? Be drawn back or not what?
Correct.
Okay.
Not be drawn
Be
back.
drawn back. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's deal with what draws you back to the situation. What
Mm-hmm.
what normally draws you back?
Um, I guess the start hearing the sorry, and just all the things. Oh, I'm I care, and all those little things.
Why does it work?
Um, it's me. It's me, and I know the issues and the things that I deal with, just wanting the companionship, and you know,
Sure.
like
Sure.
being lonely sometimes. And I'm not a person that has like very many friends. Like, I always have maybe two friends at a time. And it's just a companionship for me, like an adult companionship, really.
Sure. I love you. You're doing good. And you're being honest with yourself. And that's how we heal. When we don't be honest with ourselves, we can't heal. So
Right.
you're
Thank
being honest, and that's cool. So then the question
thank you.
becomes, what is the cost that you're comfortable with to have companion, and does this operate within that cost?
All right. So um I don't feel comfortable with a course. I think for me is my biggest thing is, once I've gotten attached to someone, it's hard for me to let go. And that's, again, like I said, because I don't have so many friends and people that I actually call my friends, that, and it's not just him, it's many other relationships that I have with people, family members and friends, that I don't know how to detach myself, because it's like, I feel like if I detach myself, then I'm going to have nobody.
Sure. Sure. If you have nobody, what does that mean to you?
I guess it hurts because I feel like I'm someone who's there for everybody. So, sometimes I just want, even if, sometimes it's negative, it's just the thought of just having some people is, I feel like I need that sometimes, because I do get lonely. I get lonely. Like, even if I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, like, I get lonely.
Right. What if you were by yourself, what does that mean to you, though? Does that mean that you're lonely? Are you saying that that's what that means to you, that you're lonely? Or what does being by yourself mean to you?
Um,
If I'm by myself, that means,
mm, I guess it would be for me lonely. Like, I just feel sad when I'm by myself.
why?
Um, cause I guess I be wanting company.
Why? Why do you
I,
need company?
I don't, I don't need it. It's just that I want it,
Why do you want it?
because I feel like I do so much on my own. I feel like I do so much on my own. I've always, like, um, as a kid growing up, I didn't have my mother, and I had my father, but I didn't have my father because we didn't have a close connection. So all growing up, I felt lonely. So I used friends and family members, like, to fill that void of not having that. And like, I don't need any of them, because my life actually goes good. Like, I can do everything that I may ask from people on my own. And it actually works better that way. It's just that, I guess, that void of not having somebody there with me, that I feel like in my corner of my space, and I guess, again, like I said, that stems from me being a kid and not having my mom, not having my father, and feeling like, I did everything on my own, where that taught me how to do things on my own, but it also made me feel very lonely, because I felt like I had nobody to depend on, and I had, to do things all by myself. So sometimes I may create situations where I need somebody.
Hmm. Hmm. I
I don't really
love
need them.
I love how you said you can have somebody that you can depend on.
Hmm.
It's about having somebody that you can depend on. And you said that you've always been there for other people, and you just feel like sometimes people should be there for you.
Right. Right.
And you want to have someone that you can depend on.
Right.
Asha.
Not that I need to, but that I can. Like, I could figure it out myself, but sometimes it's just like, I'm tired today. I don't want to figure it out myself. I would like, maybe for one of those people to step up and, help me figure it out the
Does
way
that
that I helped them figure it out.
does that typically happen?
Um, Not often. I may find, every once in a while to have, those people. Um,
Asha. Would
yeah.
your husband be one of those people that fits the bill?
So no, I feel like, at times he pretends, is one of them that, oh, I'm gonna give you what you want, but I'm going to not give it to you all the way. I'm going to basically like pretend as if I'm doing it to show face, but deep down I'm not really doing what I'm saying that I'm gonna do, because it's always, a lot of talk and really no action.
For sure. For sure. And the thing that you want is for someone to be there and show up and someone to depend on.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, who is the person that you have in your life that no matter what, they show up and they're there? I don't care what happens, they're there.
I don't think I have.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You're doing good, lady. If someone shows up for you and they show up and they're there, what does that mean to you? It means that
That they care, and they genuinely care, and it's not about what I have done for them or what I can do for them, but just by genuinely caring.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm
And I
sure.
think that is more so what I'm looking for, because I feel I am that to everyone.
I'm sure.
I am that to every that I come in contact with, where it's like I genuinely care. It's not that I'm doing anything or feel a certain type of way because of what I can get out the situation, what you can do for me, or what rewards I will receive for being a blessing. No, it's because it comes from my heart, and I sometimes feel like, and I'm not saying that, that people don't do that in certain situations, but I need somebody that does that in all situations, and I don't feel like I have
I'm sure. And you feel like you should have that because
that. I feel like because I am that way, I expect that from those who I am close to, because I don't, like I said, I'm very careful in my circle and who I pick, that I don't have very many. And I feel like I hand select these people. And in
that's
hand selecting them, I feel like, you know, they they should have an understanding of who I am and how I operate, what I expect, and that.
I love what you're saying. You're saying that I hand select these people and I am the way that I'm asking them to be towards me. I am that way. And I expect them to be that way because I am that way and I personally have selected these people.
Hmm.
I love,
Oh,
I love that.
right.
You said something so beautiful. And you're gonna see something so cool in a minute. There's a lot of work to be
Okay.
done. We can't do it in one night.
Right.
But there's something beautiful that you just said, and I want to show it to you. And then we'll figure out a way to keep the space of healing going. But here's what you said that's so
Okay.
beautiful. I'm really looking for someone to be there for me. It's important that someone is there for me, like I am there for them. And I expect them to be there for me because I am there for them. And I was very careful as to who I chose to be there for. And I don't understand why it's not happening that way. Did I get that
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yes.
I remember, I'm gonna share with you a story. I remember I went to this seminar, and it was a healing seminar, and it was when I was just beginning my healing. And the lady walked up to me and she said, "Wow, you're a giver." And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Why do you give to people?" And I say, "Because I like helping people." And she said, "Why do you give to people?" And I said, "I really do. Like, I like helping people. And if I can help them, I want to help them. I want to be a blessing to them." And she said, "Why do you give to people?" And I said, "I really do. I give to people because I want to help them. And I like to be a help to people." And she said, "You give because you want people to like you." And I said, hmm. Now, I knew she wasn't there to hurt me.
Right.
I knew I was there to get my healing. So she said that to me, and I said, "Let me think about that."
Right.
And then I looked at her and I said, "Oh my gosh, you're right." I said, do, I don't do it all the time, but I do it a lot of times."
Right.
And she
Right.
says, "Yes, you do." And I said, "Oh my gosh."
Right.
And she said, "So because the lesson in the class was we reap what we sow." And I figured if I'm sewing, they should be giving back to me too.
Right.
If I give you some money to pay your bill, maybe next
You
time when
should
I
give
need
me.
some, you can pay my bill.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm thinking, this is cool, logical thinking. But what I learned was I had created an expectation of someone giving me something because I gave them something. So love is not in that picture because God told me it's not in that picture. There were expectations attached to it.
Right.
And so when I placed those expectations on that thing, it had no choice but to keep giving me expecting, which is different than receiving.
Right.
It's different than being or becoming. I'm expecting, which is a verb and it's constantly happening. It will never get sufficed because I'm expecting. And
Right.
I said, wow.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And that's why it will always seem like to someone else that you're never satisfied. And it's always something, the more that they do, the more that you want. It makes sense. It makes
I
sense.
say,
Yes, it makes
I
sense.
say. So I shifted my giving. And now I only give when I don't expect anything back.
Okay.
And when I give from that place, I always get something back.
Okay. That makes sense.
I say,
Right. I say.
I say. But it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard work
It
to do
is.
that because it takes
It
us
is.
being honest. You were so honest with yourself today. Those are the people who are the most honest with themselves are the ones that heal themselves. Sometimes people don't want to be honest with themselves and they don't heal themselves. But you were
I
very honest.
want to get because I want to get better. I don't want to stay in the same place and
I say,
continue, living the same way. I want to constantly get better, constantly learn, and because of course I know there's always work to do within myself.
yes. The beautiful clue to life is the intentions. We always have our intentions.
Right.
We always have it.
Right.
Sometimes in life it's just about becoming aware of our intentions. Because sometimes, like I didn't know that my intentions was
We're not there.
attached to expectations
Okay.
until she asked me the question.
Right.
And then I didn't even answer the question. I just kept saying, because I'm a nice person. Why does this woman keep asking me this question? And I wasn't getting it. So she said, I got to give you the answer because you're cray cray. But when she gave me the answer, I offered no resistance. And I said, okay, I get it. I get it. And it helped me change my behavior.
Right.
Yeah. So you get it.
I got it.
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it a great
Yes.
feeling? That
Yes.
thing is beautiful right there.
Yes.
That thing is
Yeah.
beautiful. So we'll end on that. We still have some healing to do,
Okay.
but it's beautiful to be able to get to that space. You did an amazing job. You did an amazing job. Amazing. And I'm so grateful for you.
It
Ashe.
paused. I didn't hear that.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
But you did good.
Thank you.
All right. I love you guys. I'm going to go to bed because I have to get up at
Okay.
6 a.m.
Okay.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for spending the night with me. And don't forget to send me those messages if you guys want to visit the first day of the healing class. Don't forget to send me the message. All right. I love you guys, and I see you hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Good to see you, Brittany and Vera. Glad to see you guys. All right. We're out of here.